Sandy Golston here from SG3 Communications, coming back at you live here with another video. This video is going to be titled, One Author's Solution for Publishing Creative Writing Output. It has never been easy to have your creative writing output accepted by traditional publishing houses. And as you'll see with a list that I have coming later, you're going to see some very famous names that ran into all kinds of trouble getting their works published. Now, I'm nowhere near that category, but I certainly have run into some obstacles trying to get myself published in a traditional way. Haven't given up on that dream, but it is certainly a challenge that you might take some persistence to have to be able to overcome. Witness these famous masters of fiction who were all obliged to take the route of shelling out hard cash to have their debut novels printed. And some of the names on the list are some familiar ones that you'll know right off the bat. Names like John Grisham, Edgar Allan Poe, George Bernard Shaw, Gertrude Stein, Virginia Woolf, William Blake, and Walt Whitman, just to name a few. John Grisham, incidentally, sold copies of his first novel, A Time to Kill, out of the boot of a car, which at the outset was his sole vehicle for distribution. Now, you know that A Time to Kill went on to become not only an outstanding book, but also a hit movie that hit the theaters. It's getting actually tougher all the time, even for some of the established authors who already have works out there to try to get them published. It can be doubly frustrating when you've written something that you are desperate to see in print, something you want other people to read. There's always recourse to the expensive vanity publishing houses that actually are becoming less expensive in some ways, but that's not always the route that many people want to take. You may decide to do that, and if you do, you can certainly be successful. It takes maybe a little bit harder work, and you're going to have to create your own path, but the rewards can be pretty great if you can make it work. Some authors have had a string of traditionally published titles that are currently selling in bookstores worldwide, but others have not been able to have that kind of success, and so they've gone maybe the route of vanity publishing, if you will, print on demand publishing, and those are options that you really have to consider. And if you really are willing to do that, you can really have great rewards because you really have better control over your creative content, and you also have greater control over your royalties that you can get. And so a lot of it is just going to, again, coming up with that marketing plan that's going to really help you to get ahead. One of the things about print on demand is that you're going to have to do a lot of the little things that a traditional publisher would take care of. Things like an ISBN, things like shipping, getting your book into bookstores, initial marketing, ongoing marketing. Those are things that maybe if you get a traditional publishing deal, that'll probably be taken care of for you. But if you don't get something like that, then you could find yourself on your own. And so don't feel like you should be discouraged. Keep fighting the good fight. I know I'm going to keep fighting the good fight because I've got some great works that I hope to get published someday. And I know it's going to take some work and it's going to take some persistence to really make that dream come true. But there are options out there if you can't get the traditional publishing route to really get going for you. Think about other options that can help you to turn that work of fiction, those works of fiction that you've worked hard on for so many years, to turn them into a reality that exposes them to people who might be more receptive than maybe some of the traditional publishing houses might think.